This podcast is rated R for restricted. Under 17 requires accompanying parent or adult guardian.
Mission 250.
Welcome to the Mission 250 Filmcast, where we are watching the best movies ever made according to IMDb. You can go to our website. It's mission250filmcast.com, where we have our list frozen, and you can see what movies are coming up next on the list. I am one of your hosts, Danny, and joining me are...
John?
TC.
Dramatic pause.
Dramatic pause. Johnny?
Forget it, man.
He's doing something here. He's doing something.
Forget it. No, just forget it. It's Chinatown, man.
Boo.
I wanted to get that out of the way.
Okay. Way to waste it.
All right.
Damn it, John. We can only do that once in this 250.
Shot it? Yeah. Yeah, that's what I like to do. That's what I'm known for.
Yeah. And if you couldn't tell from John's dead-on Jack Nicholson impression, we're watching Chinatown this week.
By the way, it's not Jack who says it, but what do I know? I just watched the film.
Oh, it wasn't him?
It's forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown. It's his buddy. It's his, just his little sidekick.
Ooh.
One of his two sidekicks.
Ooh, very nice. I might have
less
watched
of a
the wrong
sidekick
movie
if there's
then.
like two sidekicks. Like you don't have like Batman and Robin. I mean, it's bad enough to be Robin, but if you've got two sidekicks, that's kind of a bummer.
John, you're wasting your good energy on this. Come on. You said you had 10 minutes. Don't fucking waste it.
All right. Sorry. All right. Let's refocus. Focus.
Got a point, John.
Yeah. 1974, Chinatown, directed by Roman Polanski. The synopsis is: a private detective hired to expose an adulterer finds himself caught up in a web of deceit, corruption, and murder. And this week, it's John's turn to go first. He said he had 10 minutes of energy before we started recording. Let's see if he
about 5
actually has
minutes
that
ago.
much time. 7 minutes. Go ahead, John.
Yeah. I don't know. This film's okay. I like the subject matter. I like the story, that it's not just a typical sort of like good guy, bad guy thing, but it's about corruption. It's more convoluted. And, from what we learned from Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, anytime anybody's doing things with dams, it's bad.
That's true.
So, yeah.
A lot of corruptions. It's like a topic nobody brings up in daily conversation, so you can hide stuff behind it, maybe.
That's true.
Right.
Yeah. You bury people.
All we want to know about the water
is
is that it's there.
Yeah.
the dam is
I don't need
such
to
a
know anything else.
useful criminal tool. But anyway, I really like that about the story and how it sort of unfolds, that he learns these things. I think that was pretty cool. There's a lot of neat touches in there. Let's see. I like the character, the detective, but sometimes he seems a little odd sometimes, like during the scene where he's telling the joke. I think he's like on cocaine or something because he's just so animated.
Dude, we watch the same movies all the time. That's like the one part I noted as this character is a little off in the scene.
Yeah, I agree. It's like I think he just there's maybe a little partying going on that day. I don't know. I mean, they were trying to set it up to be really embarrassing for him, but boy, it seemed over the top.
I couldn't even follow the joke.
Yeah, I wasn't. That's a good point. Yeah, I wasn't quite following it either.
Yeah, I mean, it was racist and it was lewd, but that's about.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
yeah. There you go.
That much I got.
You know what more you need,
I guess.
And hyper. So coked out racist lewd joke. This is what we need. This is good. Keep that. Cut. Let's see. So, but I liked his character. He still had, I could see why he still had some really cool moments there. He has that scene where he's like, I almost lost my nose and I like it. And I just thought that was pretty cool. So I kind of like that. And I'm just kind of like lukewarm on this one. Some of the part, there's the nose injury is really striking. That is the hands down the worst nose injury of any. I mean, I know people get their faces smashed in probably in some other films that we've seen already and we'll see more of, but just having the nostrils slit off like that just seems so like painful to think about.
Pretty damn real too.
Yeah. Yeah. So I do know, I do know something about this. Like it was a little switch knife that would go one way. And so Polanski himself was the guy who did it, who played that little guy that did the nose.
John's line about his wealth of trivia over there once again.
Yeah. This is all I got though. So
okay. Just pulling out your one thing out of the bucket. Okay.
So some minor things. There's one or two other things, but the knife would only curve. It would only like switch. So it was like the blade would bend, or it would like just switch down.
Only the tip of it too.
Tip. Right. But it would only do it one way. And so Polanski would like to joke with Jack about how, hey, you got to remind me which way to hold it because I might forget. Because if he did hold it the wrong way, it would actually probably cut his nose.
Oh, shit.
So anyway, there was an interview in a very brief one with him where he likes to think that the fear in Jack's eyes at that point was real because he was worried that he might be holding the knife the wrong way.
Yeah, and apparently they did 12 takes, and the first take was great, but Polanski, they think that he just enjoyed freaking Jack out, so he did it 12 more times or 11 more times.
Wow.
Jeez.
Yeah. He's kind of a fucked up dude, that guy.
Yeah, he's a little creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the actress was good. I that scene where the big reveal happens, where he slaps her over and over to get a different answer. That just I don't think that holds up very well.
Oh,
did you really?
I'm going hard positive on this one. So,
well, that's good. Good for you.
Yeah.
Good for you, Denny. Way to go.
I love that scene, man. I fucking
you support the rapist. You go on.
Yeah, I know. I got mixed feelings about how I feel.
Well, we should maybe try to table that discussion till towards the end.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's but for some reason it was almost just like slap my sister, slap my daughter, slap
my sister, my daughter,
slap. Anyway, so I just
disagreed.
Know.
That's like what I mean. I don't know. Wait.
Yeah,
I feel like they acted it out.
That's what I do when someone isn't telling me the truth. I just smack them again. That's what I do. I smack.
Hey, we're in the
people all
30s,
time.
man. We've seen this is the way men treated women back then. You just smack them in the face.
Broad,
and if they don't tell you what to hear. You smack him again. I mean, I liked his character and how he even tried to like correct himself around her and be a little bit more proper.
Right.
So I can see a lot of sort of like, there's a lot of good things about the film in terms of, I like the dark ending. I think that I know that there was some controversy. You might know more of the details about. I think originally it was scripted to be a happy ending or that there was pressure, but Polanski insisted on it this way. And I think that's it. The film is much better for ending that way, as awful as it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's about all I got. I think.
TC, where do you stand on this one?
I mean, I like it.
You like it?
Yeah, it's a good movie.
Nice.
Interesting, like color. I noticed.
Really?
Very muted. It seems like
they wanted to. They got dailies apparently like towards the beginning. They actually fired the first cinematographer because he was adding too much style to the movie. They wanted it to be pretty simple.
Wasn't there something about the cinematographer too that it was the same one as it was on Rosemary's Baby, but the producer didn't want that to happen, and then they switched to a different one? Does that mean there were 3 cinematographers?
I didn't hear about that one. I only heard about there was actually 2 working on the film, and like during production, during shooting, they kicked one of them off and brought
just because it was looking
that guy
too pretty.
was doing this type of thing. It was just like a muted stylistic thing. And
like not a lot of camera movements. It did
kind of go a little bit more normal once they got like halfway through, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure they shot in sequence. So I'm not sure which. I know some of the shots. There's a list of the shots that were kept from the first one, and I think it's just like 2 or 3. One of which is them driving away from the city and sunset, and they do that a couple times. So I'm not sure which one that one was describing.
Wow. Interesting.
But I couldn't really tell. None of them like stood out and were like, whoa, this looks like it's shot by somebody else. Seemed pretty consistent to me.
Yeah, I mean, there was a couple scenes where I was just like, wow, their skin is like gray, and I don't know.
Huh.
I mean, it's an interesting story. I think Nicholson's great.
Yeah,
I like him. I think he's something else. He was an odd looking man when he was younger.
Yeah,
he's always been bald, I guess, or balding,
or not bald, but he was just odd looking. Like he just had I don't know. I feel like he grew into himself a little bit better.
And
he's
then
like
he
that
kept
awkward
growing.
high school kid, you
right,
know.
and
like,
as a leading man, it's fascinating to watch that, where he's not the dashing debonair guy. He's more like crafty and
It's the eyebrows, man.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's pretty good. I mean, I love all the LA in it.
Yeah,
you know,
the time period was pretty cool. All the cars looked really neat.
Right, and like I was looking up some of the locations, and just like they're all over the place. But that Mar Vista nursing home or whatever, I was like, I live in Mar Vista area. Damn, but it's like that's not where it's in Brentwood or something like that where they shot it. But it was kind of cool. I mean,
did you recognize anything? Does anything still exist?
Oh yeah, no, a lot of the stuff so the Mar Vista nursing home or whatever is some kind of like all girls school now in Brentwood.
Oh.
But I guess it's very similar in how it looks.
Was it actually a nursing home at one point?
I don't know. Might have been.
Run by Nazis?
There was also like, they go to Catalina Island to do the rich people thing. And then, I mean, there's some good spots. They do San Pedro, which has got the cliffs. And, it's
Is that where the water
definitely
dumped out into?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely all over the greater Los Angeles area, but they stitch it together really well. And it's not immedially obvious that,
They're all different places.
One moment he's in Echo Park
Yeah.
and the next moment he's down in Long Beach, They don't, it's not too obvious. So, I mean, that stuff for me was kind of cool just because, I live here. But I had already seen this movie before, so I knew what I was getting into on this one at least. So it wasn't like there wasn't any surprises this time. I was like, oh, right, I remember this. Oh, yeah, right. It's the dog. Oh, right. There was a lot of that going on in my head while I was watching it.
All right, hole in the head at the end.
Oh,
yeah,
right,
that's
that happened.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Yep, yeah. So, I mean, yeah, I definitely didn't dislike it, but it's good. I think it would, Polanski, whatever his name is,
Sir Roman Polanski. I'm not sure if he's
whatever.
A
I mean, he's cool.
he's a cool dude. No,
yeah.
he's not.
I mean,
Yeah.
no. I mean, I was.
He's
just
alive
not
in
paying
France. He's
attention.
actually in the news the past couple of days.
in the last couple of days.
Yeah,
huh?
we can talk about that too.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I could tell people to watch it. I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised. Well, I guess I'm not surprised because who the fuck knows with us in this list. But yeah, I love
Yeah,
this
sorry.
movie. I've seen this movie probably 6 times at this point. I don't get sick of watching it. I think it has a lot to do with the acting. And I think it's pretty perfect, like the tone they set, with the exception of that one scene where he's telling the joke. That scene just doesn't make any sense for his character because it's not like, I don't know what that scene is trying to do to that character because he seems confident and in charge the entire movie. And then that scene, all these other people that are, normally below him are not laughing at his joke. And that's not really a position of power, I guess.
You could try to
Well,
argue
I thought
that
it was because the people were behind him.
Right. But I mean, don't you
Right.
think if you were telling a joke and he was laughing a lot at himself and they
Yeah.
weren't laughing, you'd be like, dudes, I'm telling you a joke. Why aren't you paying attention to me?
Right.
This is a pretty good
True.
one.
You could try to argue
True.
that he was really, and maybe this was overplayed, but like after his experience at the barber where he was told the joke, but he's really feeling unsettled because he's
People are mad at him
been
because
made-
of the story.
Well, he's been made a fool of, and he doesn't really, this is just not the kind of reputation he wants, and so he's really, and also it still hurt. He's probably questioning himself a little bit that like, yeah, he's not a policeman anymore, and he is basically getting paid to try to dig up dirt on people, and so he's confronted with that, and then he's super uncomfortable, and that just gets him out of where he's just really out of sorts there.
Yeah.
But
not
and then he
angry
went-
enough to leave the barber
Right.
shop. He's got to sit back
Right.
down and get
Yeah.
the shave.
But
Well,
he
you got
did
the
a- yeah.
shaving cream
And-
on still.
That's
so.
true.
And then he did a little coke to take the edge off, and
Right.
The trick is back in the day, they put Coke in the Arbosol or whatever it's called, the shaving cream.
Oh,
Goes right
that
into
just
the
went
skin.
directly into his bloodstream.
Yeah.
it's what you dust them down with.
That's why you want them to nick you a little bit just to get that in the bloodstream there.
That's right.
But I thought the acting was pretty flawless on like Faye Dunaway's part. I really like that slapping scene. I don't know why. I think it's mostly just
I
because
don't either.
I saw this movie when I was younger, and that scene just really sticks out to me as being like a very memorable scene in movies. Mostly because of like the revelation that happens during
Right.
that scene.
I think once, and maybe that's also wears off too. I don't know, but yeah, when the shock value of that, I mean, it's such a terrifying revelation. If you already know it and expect it, then maybe it doesn't. I don't know, but I can imagine that being really striking at the time and just
I
horrendous.
remember the first time I watched this movie being confused by that, being like, mother and sister, what does that even mean? I don't even
Oh
fucking
yeah, I didn't
understand.
get it either.
Yeah. But then like,
Yeah.
I think I got it halfway through the very last scene where John Houston
God.
is like trying to grab
Is
the
being
daughter.
super
and-
creepy.
Yeah, the creepiest
being
fucking guy.
Super creepy.
Ever,
yeah.
man. His
He's
face.
mine. She's mine too.
Yeah.
Oh
Ugh.
boy.
His villain in this movie is amazing. He plays like enough of a character where you could totally believe that he gets away with his shit all the time because he's like
he
a
seemed
smooth
a little
talker.
over the top towards the end. I don't know. I think it was more smooth. Like it just seemed a little over the top creepy towards the end, but I don't know.
I think it worked
Yeah, you
for
thought
me.
it was- yeah.
And I thought him
I
getting
mean, that
shot
was-
by
yeah.
the gun was like one of the best, like receiving a bullet in a movie. It just seemed like real. I don't know how they did that.
Yeah.
Like the little clip on the arm, he just like steps back and winces. It's not over the top or anything like that.
Mm.
Huh.
Thought the two cops that were kind of chasing Jack around all movie were pretty damn good. as like supporting characters.
One thing I just love, one of the really nice touches in the film is how he just knows everybody.
Yeah.
And it's not really spoken to at all. It just happens. And so you don't, I think it's a really nice way that you get to know this character and kind of who he is just by how he knows every single person he runs into.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't feel like that's a coincidence. It feels like this is just, this guy being networked the way he is. But nobody like mentions it or anything. You just see this happening. And I think that's a pretty cool touch to the film.
Yeah, and the same kind of thing happens with every time they bring up like the Chinatown backstory. It just kind of trickles in little pieces of information.
Right.
And really, you don't even really know what happened in Chinatown. You just know it's like fucked up and it got people to leave and people can't stop talking about it. Like,
Yeah.
So it's whatever happened.
I might be liking this film more as you talk about it.
Yeah.
Warm it up a bit.
Yeah.
I know. Well, no,
I mean, it
pointing
is a
out all the good
classic.
things. There's also a lot of neat little scenes that normally that might just be throwaways or whatever, but they're done well enough. Like when he's in that library and there's the like annoyed clerk.
Oh yeah,
and it's just
he
it's
just
just a
coughs and
small
rips the
thing.
page out of the thing.
Yeah, it's just a small thing, but just that interaction is worth it's entertaining to watch. And there's a lot of little things like that because this story is kind of complicated and a lot of different things happen.
Kind of complicated.
Yeah,
It's extremely
but
complicated.
It is, but each little moment is done really well so that you're entertained watching it.
Yeah.
I think it's like so you have there's attention paid to the characters in the scene and in terms of what's happening, so that in the little touches like how he knows people or how they sort of just convey this sort of familiarity that the characters have with each other, and they never really tell you anything explicitly, which is also really great. But they don't. At the same time, you're not left totally confused.
Yeah.
So it's pretty nicely done. I guess the original.
Well, I mean, were you not left totally confused? I feel like the ending kind of leaves you confused, but then like the last line, like, forget it, it's Chinatown. It's just like you shrug it off. You're like, well, it's kind of over because we can't do anything about it anymore. So you might as well just not even worry about it.
Right. Well, no, I mean, he's the guy that bought up all the, he arranged all the land deals so that they would be able to resell the land once the dam was built for millions more. I mean, that's about the long and short of it. Why they were diverting water and dumping water out, I didn't quite understand.
Yeah, I didn't figure that out either, right?
Yeah.
Were they like storing it up somewhere or?
Right. Why did they have to divert it? Were they artificially creating a shortage? I don't know.
Were they giving
know.
water to the actual like orange farmers, certain ones, so they would get like sell them the land at some other point in time or
then
something?
why were they dumping water?
The runoff. I feel like the runoff is the real reason. But
that was just the runoff. It wasn't like they were dumping it, but they were giving water to some people, and then the runoff had to go somewhere.
I don't think they were purposely getting rid of water to prevent the people of LA to drink.
Gotcha.
I don't think so, but I'm not positive because it doesn't make it clear.
Wasn't
So
clear.
it's a good point.
Yeah.
That was sort of confusing.
So you never get to the bottom of that. You never really get to the bottom of the girlfriend character that ends up getting killed in her house. Like, who motivated her? She get paid? She ended up like flipping at the end. Do you know what I'm talking about?
So not the girlfriend, but the original, the woman who impersonated the wife.
That was the girlfriend of Faye Dunaway's husband.
I thought,
Right?
and this was confusing to me. I thought that they were taking pictures of the husband with her daughter / sister.
No. See, they look very similar, but that was a different character.
Yeah.
And I was
Both
confused.
blonde.
That was one thing where I was wondering, like,
Yep.
boy, that's a real twisted family situation we got here.
They never give you close-ups of either of their faces.
Right.
Never the girlfriend's face, but you get like, 3/4
So
of the way in the movie.
the girlfriend was the one that I didn't know that at all. I had no idea that the girlfriend was the one that was posing as the wife initially.
Yeah, and she was the one who they found dead in the kitchen, and like the two cops were there, and he's like, "What are you doing
right.
here?"
Yeah. That was a good little scene.
Yeah, that freaked me the fuck out, dude. When the music cue was like, "Bring," and like there were people in the bathroom. I jumped.
Yeah.
I didn't. Yeah, I
Just
didn't
waiting
notice
to see what you would do.
I wasn't expecting it.
I had the volume up real loud, so I was like, there were a few times where like there was a gunshot, and it made me jump. When he was in the
Nice.
orange field, and there's a gunshot came out of nowhere and exploded in orange.
I kept thinking, like, how did they get the radiator to blow like that in the car?
Oh yeah,
That was a good little,
Mhm.
like, it looked net real. Like, it just,
Yeah.
like, they shot and then pop.
and there was a bunch of like geese around during that. That must have been tricky not to
Yeah,
kill
when
the
he was,
geese.
like, almost driving over him.
Yeah, and he like
Yeah,
backed
what were
up.
they all doing there?
They probably, I would imagine they put a bunch of food on the ground to keep them like where the driving was going to be, but then they would just like drive towards them and they'd fly away or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Total guess, because the commentary track is totally not worth it in this movie.
Oh, really?
Who's on the commentary?
You wouldn't believe it. So the screenwriter of this movie and somebody completely random, David Fincher.
Weird.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey,
Really weird, really uncomfortable sometimes during the commentary track.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Hey, David, you bored? What are you doing? What?
David was like, this is one of my favorite movies of all time. And then half of the commentary track, he'd be like, I do that differently. This part isn't good. You can see that's made out of rubber. Oh, that's guy's out of focus in the back. And you're like, Jesus, dude, this is this guy's legacy. You're shoving it in his face.
Nice.
Yeah. But, I mean, he's also a rapist, so I don't think anybody cares.
No, Fincher's not. I don't think.
No. I'm saying, like,
the director.
Polanski.
Really?
Like,
Are you
yeah.
sure? Because
Wow.
these days it seems
That's-
like it's 50-50, man.
That's true. It does seem 50-50. Dude, reading about, we'll save the Polanski stuff till later.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
some very, very confused feelings about Polanski myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think another thing about this film that makes it pretty unique. I mean, I'm sure it's done too, where you have the hero that just gets the crap beat out of him all the time, and he goes through maybe, I don't know, a third of the film with a big old bandage on his nose, if not more than that. I think it's just very unusual. It's just not like self-serving to the leading man. He's just not there making himself look really awesome all the time. I mean, he still is a likable character, surprisingly enough, but he's not. I don't know. He's just not like looking glamorous at all.
And man, medicine
And
back in the 30s must have sucked because you really have to have
Yeah.
a bandage that big on your nose.
Well, I think
don't know,
actually
yeah.
you might even if you did that, like if you stitched it up and everything, you'd need to have something to brace it probably.
But he was just taping
Because-
like fluffy, I don't know, gauze on his face.
Yeah, I don't know. When you have a nose injury, well, certainly when you break your nose, you have to wear at least like a pad around it. You may not have to have it all fluffy bandaged up, but you usually have to have some kind of brace.
Well, that's definitely different if you break it. Just like a
yeah, but
skin
in
wound.
this case, yeah, but the thing is your nose is all like pliable, so
Is there cartilage
if you
right
had-
there? I'm feeling my nose
Yeah.
right now. Would it cut
Yeah.
through shit that's not just skin?
Well, the point is like if
Oh,
you
yeah,
if you don't
definitely.
like brace it and you've got a cut through the nostril, if your nose
Let's all
got
grab our
bumped, you-
noses and talk while we're doing
Right.
the podcast.
Yeah. So,
That's
like, you're
right.
holding it.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
got it right here.
Yeah.
I mean,
That hurt. Yeah, for sure.
was it last week that we learned how nosist you were? I mean, so I can imagine that an injury to the nose really affects you deeply in terms of,
That's why you can
It's
only
upsetting.
put fingers in both nostrils at the same time. As long as they remain symmetrical, John.
I
That's all
know.
that matters.
Right. So what if you got injured and your nose was no longer symmetrical?
Slice the other
If
side,
you-
buddy.
I'm just telling you though, like if you're injured and you no longer have the nose God gave you, have you lost the perfect nose? Do you become ostracized?
You just end it.
from
Bolt to the head, John.
Yeah.
Simple.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
That's what I thought. I mean, that's what I do.
Yeah. Of
but-
course.
The point of the big bandage meaning is your nose is pliable. So if you got it bumped or whatever, you could rip out the stitches. So that's probably why,
true.
even so, you would probably want to have it kind of braced down if you had some kind of huge gash across your nostril, which is just terrible.
It looked like he got stitches at some point during
What
the
do we
movie.
got next? We have big slit in the lips with Pan's Labyrinth. Now we got big slit in the nose. What do we got? Eyelids coming up next. What do you got
Ooh,
for
are
us?
we going to watch
IMDb? What?
Hostel? Are we going to watch Hostel? Is
I
that on
don't
the
know.
list?
Is
Oh,
there an
boy.
eyelid scene? Oh,
Or is
God,
there
in Hostel.
Jackass 3 on there where they do the paper cuts in between the fingers?
Oh, those. That I just.
Oh.
Nope.
Nope.
I just got a clear image of that, and I remember it well, and I was
Yeah.
like, ow.
Yeah, you see these guys just like shooting themselves into space and almost killing themselves, but then that one's
Nice.
the one that sticks out to me too.
Yeah.
Just like
Yeah.
the worst thing
Yeah.
they've ever done.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
the paper
that's
cut
just.
thing? I don't know.
I'm sorry. That is
Yeah.
just.
But I think that nostrils really sticks out as one of, even though there's far more brutal and horrific things that are done, but that just I don't know, just the simplicity of it, maybe. It's just, I don't know, it's really disturbing.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I like how this movie just makes everything seem so incredibly real. Mostly because you feel like you're with this character the entire time. Like you just
Exactly,
follow him
like-
around. He's like,
Yeah.
he takes his time. He has to
I mean,
walk
I
here.
wouldn't
you
be
see it.
surprised if you followed him to the bathroom,
Right.
and
you
he's
follow
in
him into
there
the shower.
taking a pee.
You follow him into like
Right.
the bedroom and stuff. You go everywhere.
Yeah, so it does a remarkable job of that. Like you feel like you're just kind of discovering things as he discovers it. I think originally the screenplay did not have it like that. Like originally the screenplay
Had a voiceover.
gave away a lot more.
It had a
first.
voiceover. Yeah, Jack did a voiceover.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that would have been a lot different.
And
Yeah.
then and Polanski like changed all that because he wanted the audience to discover it as the character did. I
Which
think.
is the best part because you go into every movie kind of like being like, all right, what's this movie about? And he goes into the situation. He's like, all right, I'm going to investigate this guy cheating. And then all of a sudden he's like diving deep into this fucking corrupt water system. He's like,
Right.
what the fuck is this all about?
Yeah.
You're kind of just like,
and
we're in the
along
same.
the way, you sort of get to know Jack's character too, which is really nice. Like at first, you don't know much about him, and you just sort of get to gradually, as this whole thing unfolds, you learn more and more about him. And I think that's like the combo of those things is really done well.
Yeah.
All right, it's not a bad movie.
No, it's a
Yeah.
good movie.
And you guys didn't mention the score. The score is amazing. I love the score.
That's true. That little like clarinet in there or whatever they were
Yeah,
using,
I mean,
or
it's
saxophone. I
very
couldn't
much
tell what it
helps
was.
sets the tone. Or
Yeah,
the
and
time,
they definitely had a good variety of instruments too. It wasn't just like the
They did.
same refrain over and over again. Like it would go. I don't know. I don't watch that many movies. Like I would call it something like Stanley Kubrick. What he does, where like sometimes even the motion of the characters, they make strings do things. You know, like people would move and the score would like make a sound for the movement. It seems
Right.
like a lot of movies don't do that, and this movie does it a
I
lot.
mean, it seems like an old trick.
Yeah, it's a good
But
trick. I like the trick.
It's a good trick.
Yeah.
I think maybe the people now aren't used to that anymore.
So the thing that actually brought it up was The Shining, another
Hmm.
Jack Nicholson one. But there's a scene where he's like pissed and walking down a hall and kind of like throwing his arms up in the air, and the score during that scene in The Shining is just like following his angry movements, sort of stuff, and that happens in this movie too. So that's my one
Nicholson's
frame
had a hell of
reference.
a career, huh?
Fuck yeah! And this was his big break apparently. He had
Wow.
5 Easy Pieces and Lowrider before this, but this was like the star making
Oh
one.
yeah.
And he
Yeah, those
doesn't
look
look that
good.
young. Doesn't look that young.
No, he started old.
Yeah.
It seemed like, yeah, for sure. He looks like he's in his mid 30s, early 40s.
And not doing well in the hair department.
no.
This is the second movie we've seen with fat dead corpse dick.
Fat dead corpse.
I didn't see the penis. I
What?
just saw hairy.
Oh, you couldn't
Stuff
see the
there,
penis,
I
but it
didn't-
was definitely naked.
Where?
Yeah,
When?
naked guy.
What did
When
I-
he
I
was in
missed
that
this?
gross
In the morgue.
scene where like the coroner was touching the dead person's face and then like putting his hand to his mouth to smoke the cigarette.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, I remember that scene. I didn't notice the.
As they
the-
were entering the room, like off to the corner, there was just a dead guy with a fat dead guy with no clothes on. But yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and
just there.
that's why I love this kind of like this movie's great because scenes like that. And I'm not knocking on the new Blade Runner at all, but in Blade Runner they kind of put it front and center. They're like, check out this awesomely symmetrical, brightly lit, in focus, fat dead dude dick right here. And this movie is like they got a guy who got naked. They're all shooting here, just a fucking naked guy off to the side. They don't focus on it. You can barely see anything. But that guy's
Right.
naked on set. They planned for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Same thing with like I thought that like usually when a female gets naked in a movie, you get like a clear shot of her like
Right.
front on. In this movie, she didn't try to hide it. She didn't try to like show you the full thing. She was just acting very naturally,
It was tastefully done.
Yeah.
Right? So yeah, I agree.
which is like rare, like possibly rare in movies. And
Yeah.
this movie is just like full of things like that, where like there are funny exchanges between the characters that like aren't over the top funny, but they're kind of like, "Heh, he's a dick," things like that. But it doesn't like take you out of the seriousness of everything that they're doing. Just kind of people coping with the the body count that's
Situation.
piling up slowly.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, fucking love this movie.
I mean, it's good. Yeah.
There were parts that you kind of like that. I don't know about that. Like the scene where he went into one of the guy's office and the secretary was pissed at him and he's like, "I'm just gonna wait in his office," and he just walks in. You're like,
Yeah.
"No,
Bullshit
Exactly.
on that.
yeah,
He starts singing to himself.
I don't care
would
how old
never
this
work.
movie is." Yeah, there's
Yeah.
no way that's gonna happen like that.
No, but it still is. It's another like scene that's just well done.
We're talking about the same.
It's entertaining. to
I think we
watch.
might be talking about different scenes. The one where he's pissing
wait.
her off. And I'm not talking
Right.
about that one. I'm talking about the one earlier that actually serves as
sorry.
a major plot point where he goes into that same office before the guy dies and rummages through his desk to find
Right.
information
That's what I was talking
necessary for him to like move along the plot. But the
Oh,
fact that
gotcha.
she
Right,
allows him to just go, "I'll go wait in his office," and wander into
Yeah.
this dude's office without knowing who he is to just like fucking steal shit out of his room.
That's a fireable offense.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough.
Didn't really seem very believable, but
That's a fair point. Sorry.
yeah. But that other scene, I agree. That's pretty damn funny. He's just being a dick, just like whistling and smoking a cigarette.
Yeah.
How about
He's an
smoking
ass.
and drinking inside of your office?
Oof.
Those
Man.
are the days.
What a time to be
Different
alive.
times.
You only had to deal with extreme sexual harassment and Nazis.
And you only lived about 40, 50 years.
Oh, yeah, because all the smoking all day.
Yeah,
You didn't have to wait till after work.
it's quick in, quick out.
Do either of you know what an Okie is?
Nope.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I mean that was from the Dust Bowl days, right? From people from Oklahoma, Okies. They came down. They were.
We did learn
Grapes
that.
of Wrath.
What movie? Yeah,
You
Grapes of
know?
Wrath. That's right.
Come on.
I'm trying to erase that movie from my brain.
Right.
Wasn't that bad?
It wasn't that good.
Yeah, it's a great book. But anyway, we just summed up our hour-long conversation on that one.
Shit, we have to become more concise, guys.
Yeah.
That was way easier than the other way.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, we should just start doing that.
Yeah.
It'll be a new kind of podcast, 2-minute podcast.
This
prob-
movie
probably
was good.
exist.
Yeah.
Why? Because it
Yeah.
Okie.
The stuff happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okie.
Good movie. Guy's a rapist. Next.
Twist.
Cigarettes.
The fighting I thought was awesome in this movie too. It seemed like they might be getting hurt. It was definitely actually physical. And they were,
Yeah,
like,
I mean,
wrestling
there
each
were
other.
there were a couple of moments like that where, like, it looked like when he was going towards the fence with the water. That looked pretty gnarly.
Oh yeah, there's no way to fake that.
That was
and he
him. There
climbs
was
over
no
the fence.
stunt double there, right?
Yeah, that had to have been him.
It was him.
Right?
And he did all the driving too. You could tell his face, like the scene where he's driving through the lemon field or
Oh,
fucking
man.
orange. No,
Orange.
they're not lemons. The orange lemons. When he's driving through a patch of those things, and the guy pops out and starts chasing him with the horse backwards, and he's just driving.
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
good.
that was a
That was
little crazy.
That was. He's like, nah, fuck it, I got it. I
Can
can do
you
it.
drive backwards through these orange lemon trees?
Yep,
Yeah.
definitely. Hold on, let
do
me
that.
just right. Yep, let's
Oh,
do it.
I'm sharp.
Yep.
I'm sharp. Guys,
All
roll
right.
it.
It's going back.
Yeah. So I might come up with some other stuff, but I got a decent amount for commentary.
Okay, what we got?
Depends on how much you guys want to talk about things.
So that
Even
was
though it wasn't good?
The writer who's interesting. I mean, he I know that he originally was offered quite a lot of money to do The Great Gatsby
Mhm.
by the producer of the film, but he wanted to do his own film, so he took a substantially less amount, like $25,000 instead of $750,000 or something like that, to do Chinatown, the film he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's one
he
one
wanted
version
to
of that
write,
story.
That's one version. Is there multiple?
It's pretty much
Yeah.
the same, but it wasn't entirely. He wanted to do Chinatown. It had to do with the delayed production of The Great Gatsby movie, and he's got kind of tired of waiting for it to get going.
Oh,
So then he
wow.
dropped
So-
off.
Oh,
So I
wow.
thought he was just saying, well, I would never be able to emulate the great F. Scott Fitzgerald.
Yeah, but
so,
he
you know,
signed on in the first place. Like you
Yeah,
sign
okay.
on, and then you're like, "No, I'm going to do what I want." You're like, "Why didn't you just do what you wanted from the first place, man? You obviously were interested in it. What are the other reasons?"
Mm.
Oh, because the production, and you want money now. Oh, I got it.
Ah,
Not so
right,
much
he's get
artistic
paid.
intent as it is cash. You fucking
Yeah.
liar.
so one of the
Hey,
things
you
I
gotta
know
eat.
about
Yeah, I
about
mean, I'm not
Robert-
blaming him, but
yeah.
still,
Yeah.
don't lie about it.
one other thing I know about Robert Towne is that, did you hear the story about his dog?
No,
Well, so he did some directing too.
the dog.
Well, so he
Did he do Air Bud? Was that him?
He wrote the script. No. He wrote the script for Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes. He was hoping to direct it. But his previous film.
Wait,
that he
what was the
directed
title of that
a-
movie? One more time.
Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
That's a long ass movie
It was a
title right
live
there.
action Tarzan. And
What?
well, I mean, I guess that makes sense back then. But he wanted to direct it. He did this film before called Personal Best that was a financial flop. So
The
he didn't
irony.
get to direct it. Yeah, exactly, right? I didn't put that together, but it's pretty
That's
funny.
pretty good. Yeah, so I'm a Hollywood director. What'd you do? I did this movie called Personal Best. How to do it? Really, really bad.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was probably my
awful.
worst thing ever. Really, actually, it's personal worst. And with the Wikipedia on it said though, so he grew dissatisfied with the production of the Legend of Tarzan, and so instead of crediting himself, he credited his dog as the writer, P.H. Yazek.
Poor
Or
dog.
Vazek. Yeah, and Vazek became the first dog nominated for an Oscar for screenwriting.
For that movie?
Yeah,
What?
but unfortunately, Wikipedia said he did not fetch the award.
Oh, way to go, Wikipedia, with your funny
I
jokes.
just like that they use the
in
word fetch.
LA.
Wait, so yeah, that's got to be so confusing because this movie too, before they even put it out, they had no idea how it was going to be received. They didn't even know if it was good. The people who
Really?
made it, the screenwriter, the director, Jack, Faye, none of them knew if anyone was going to like it. And
Really?
even when, like the first screening, everyone watched it. And then when the credits started rolling, nobody clapped, nobody moved, nobody got up. And it just confused the hell out of everybody because they're like, this doesn't happen. What the fuck is going on? But then a couple of critics came up to the screenwriter, at least, who was talking about it during the commentary track and said, like, they're like, I'm not supposed to talk to you because we have like these rules of the newspaper we're writing for. But this I've never seen anything like this movie. It like blew my mind. I don't even know how to like understand what I just saw, that sort of thing. So like even once those started coming through, they were like, I don't think these people are telling the truth or know what they're talking about. This movie sucks. It wasn't until they got nominated for 11 Oscars that they were like, maybe it is good. I don't know.
So,
I mean, that's got to be weird to make something like this and not know if it's good or not. How's that possible?
yeah, I wonder what that's an interesting. Did Polanski think it was good?
No.
He didn't even think it was good. Huh?
They were editing it
Really?
like until the day before it came out. Like the last day, I assume they need more than one day before they like, show it because you have to like produce the film and stuff. But they were editing it till like the last second. And they just like, all right. And they're like, time, yelling from the other room. They're like, oh, done. All right, go. There you go. We're finished. Shit. All right, what do we just do? I forget what we did.
Was there a lot of drugs? I mean,
not that they
also,
talked
I
about,
don't
but apparently the entire shoot of this movie was a complete disaster. And it seemed
really?
like it was Polanski's fault for the most part. Even though Faye Dunaway doesn't get a lot of good, credit for this, the producers of the movie didn't want her to be on the movie because she had a reputation for being like difficult, to say it in a nice way, depending on who says it. Like there's some negative words towards her. But Polanski took that as a challenge. He's like, I've seen her. She's great. And I bet I could do it. These other directors can't handle her, but I could handle her. But he couldn't handle her. And he did it in very, very, very wrong ways, the way he dealt with her.
Really?
Yeah. Like the first week of shoot, she's already like a pale person and she didn't want to put on too much makeup. He like busted into her makeup room and started just powdering her face for her. Like assaulting her with a fucking face powderer.
Okay.
And he would like verbally abuse her. She said like there were times where he was borderline sexually assaulting her. And there was one scene that for some reason was the one that blew up. They were trying to film a scene where she was backlit and there was one strand of hair on her head that kept sticking up and you could see it in the film. And they were spending time to try to like pat it down, but it wouldn't stay down. So he walked up to her without her seeing it and ripped the hair out of her head. She screamed and just like yelled at him and rushed off set. And then he also stormed off set. And then they had to like shut the production down. She like got her lawyers involved. She's like, I can't fucking take this. You're out of control. This is inappropriate. And he's like, what did I do? It's a piece of hair. Come on, that's nothing. So they yelled at each other for a while and they started shooting again.
Jeez, wow.
He went
this
in.
was not fun to make.
This is a rough
Jack
one,
Nicholson,
yeah.
one of his like basketball teams or something, was in the playoffs or something like that during one part of the shoot of this movie. And he, during like an overtime, I don't know enough about sports to remember this type of facts, but it was like overtime in some way. And he was in his trailer watching the game. And Polanski's like, where the fuck is Jack? He needs to be here now.
Lakers are on.
Yeah, something like that. He's like, it's double overtime.
Lakers are on. What are you talking about?
Polanski busts into his trailer with a broomstick and tries to smash the TV with a broomstick, but there's not enough room in the trailer. So he grabs it, rips it out of the wall, and throws it out the trailer.
Wow.
And then, so the next part of the story gets weird. They start screaming at each other in front of like the entire cast and crew. And Jack Nicholson starts walking away while taking off his clothes and throwing them at Polanski. Takes his tie off, throws it in his face, takes his shirt off, throws it in his face until he's entirely naked. And he gets in his car and drives away. Polanski gets in his car and drives away. And this is like a Friday night, like towards the end of the week. They drive after each other off the set, and then they pull up next to each other at like a stoplight when Polanski catches up to him, and they just look at each other and start laughing hysterically.
Wow.
What do you think was going
That
on?
is some-
Drugs?
Probably drugs.
Are just dysfunctional people? I don't know.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
too. That too.
Yeah, there are some pretty funny. I'll point you in the direction of this. SabotageTimes.com has a compiled written interview list with everybody pretty much who worked in this movie. And there are some pretty damn funny stories in here. I'm going to read a couple if that's cool. Let me know if this is stupid or not. Roman used Frisbee-sized rubber plates on the floor so that Jack would have to hit the mark dead on. Little things like that could drive Jack crazy. Jack would say, I don't want to stand there. And Polanski would say, stand there. That's where you should stand. Roll the camera. Jack, just say the fucking line. We'd roll the camera. Roman would bark action. And then Jack would look into the camera and go, hi, I'm Jack Nicholson and I'm doing a movie.
Just to like fucking spite
Yeah,
him.
he's like, dude, you're out of control. I'm not fucking doing this.
Yeah. How about these fucking Hollywood
Yeah.
people, man? Huh?
Nicholson quotes, Roman's an irritating person whether he's making a movie or not making a movie.
Oh man, that's probably true.
Yeah. So what you noticed, you see, Roman is a stickler for details. He wanted everything just right. Face, fingernails, Jack's ties and coats, the color balance of the clothing against the wall. So like what you notice it like being gray and things, that's probably him.
That was on purpose.
Yeah.
This seems like it would make a great movie itself. Like
the making of
production
this movie.
Oh
thing.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
All the BTS stuff, right?
There was a part where the scene where Jack is hiding in the car after he finds out about the daughter in the house. He's like spying through the window. And then he waits in Faye Dunaway's car and it kind of scares her.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
When they were shooting that scene, Faye was in the car for so long and she needed to use the bathroom. And Polanski was like, no, stay in the car. We need to get the shot. Then you can go to the bathroom. That lasted for so long. She ended up peeing in a cup. And when she called him over and she threw piss in his face.
Wow.
Faye Dunaway threw piss in Roman Polanski's face.
And oh man. I mean, this is just some fucking
and
Hollywood.
then what? I mean,
Dude, that's what a lot of these stories, they just end there. Like, what happened after Polanski and Nicholson caught up to each other and were just cackling in the middle? Did they just like,
Turn around and go back.
All right,
yeah,
I'll see you
blowing
Monday.
off steam, I guess. Yeah, I mean, these people don't get fired because they're already in the middle of the fucking shoot. These people have way more power than the rest of the world wants to let on to.
Oh, yeah, especially for the director and the actors. Like, you can't fire the actors that far in and the director. Yeah.
And not even that, even the producer, all of them, they're all like, it's funny too, because when I'm at like this corporate world and all these other people like that are not in Hollywood, but are trying to assume that they can control everything in Hollywood, it's like, we run into this all the time where it's like, you're not going to tell the biggest producer in Hollywood that they can't do this. Like, get it done, or we won't have a show again, right? Like it's so funny because like that's how all these people are. They're fucking powerhouses. They do whatever they want.
Yeah.
Fuck you. I'm doing it. It's unbelievable. This is the only. I think it's like the only. I don't know. Is there any other profession like that? Maybe
Crab
like
fishermen.
sports?
I don't want to get the crabs.
Well,
get the fucking
I don't
crabs.
know,
And artists
like
or
rock
whatever?
and roll. I
Yeah,
mean,
artists
like, you
and
think of Led
sports.
Zeppelin or whatever. I
Right.
think, yeah.
Yeah, like anything, but it's still like almost entertainment, I guess. Anything entertainment. Like you got
Right,
you
right.
kind of get do whatever the fuck you want to do. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
Because imagine
It's
if
pretty
you
damn
like
weird.
you're at your job. Hey, how come you didn't give me that report there, Johnny? And then you're like, fuck you, and you just take piss and you throw it in your boss's face, and you're just like, boom, and you walk
You
out.
take
I'm
off
going
all
to
your
get
clothes and you walk
lunch.
outside.
Yeah. I'm going to get lunch,
Yeah.
man. Fuck you. I'll see you at 2. I'll
Not
see you
only
at 2.
would you get fired, you'd go to prison.
You might be
Right. That's a
in
good
for
point.
assault. Yeah,
Where's that going to happen? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. Let alone throw pee at somebody.
Yeah. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. I mean, honestly,
God.
at the end of the day, maybe the whole thing is that there was just a lot of drugs. Because it
Possibly,
would
yeah.
explain, like, people are a little bit more, like, understanding if they're like, wow, he's been doing fucking coke.
I don't
all
know, though.
night, or
Jack
he's been
didn't seem too coked up at any point
well,
in
who
the movie.
knows?
for
Maybe
the-
it's
the
just
joke
like
scene,
drinking,
yeah.
you know? Who knows what they're doing off time?
It's true.
You know?
I mean,
I don't know.
that's possible, but there were a lot of scenes in this movie, just thinking about it, like really long takes with lots of very carefully put together dialogue that were definitely memorized.
I'm just no, not that. I mean, of course they're doing their jobs then, but like I'm saying, like when these stupid things happen, maybe it's like after this, the day's over, they're drinking, they're all fucked up, they're pissed at each other from this and this and that, and I don't know. To me, it just sounds crazy that you would ever throw piss at someone
Yeah,
no matter
dude.
what. So, that's some good
she
shit.
was. I don't know what word to use to describe
They need to
it.
reenact all these stories in
Yes.
the movie. Yeah.
The scene, John, that you were talking about earlier, where Nicholson was afraid of Polanski doing the nose thing. This is, I don't know if I can put this in, but I'll say it now anyway. Nicholson says, "You little fucking, you better watch what the fuck you're doing," and Roman would just look at him and
Right.
smile.
Oh man.
So going to the ending, I guess, mentioned earlier that the original screenplay had a happy ending where the John Huston character died, the rapist father character ended up getting killed, and Faye Dunaway's character lived. But 4 years before this movie came out, 3 years before he started making it, Roman Polanski's wife, Sharon Tate, was murdered. As I'm sure
Oh,
you guys
right.
have heard
I remember
by
that.
the Manson's
Yeah.
family
Murders.
followers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was, yeah.
So this is the first movie he made after that, and he was completely fucked up by it, which is, understandable to a certain degree, which we can get into because he did some things that are not excusable by having your wife murdered.
Right.
But he just felt like, I mean, the way he describes it, he's like, yeah, this is LA, this is Hollywood. The blonde's going to die. Nothing's going to be happy. It has to be a horrible ending. And they had, they debated this movie for 8 weeks, him and the screenwriter beforehand. So he kind of credits himself to a large degree to be the screenwriter as well.
Oh, wow.
But apparently Roman Polanski likes his rooms hot, and the screenwriter described it as being, it was like a 80-degree room, and Polanski was just sitting there not sweating with long pants and a sweater on. And he had this dog that would just drool, and he really liked the screenwriter. So the dog would just be sitting on this guy's feet for 8 hours a day, drooling in this 80-degree room as he yelled at Polanski as Polanski tried to rip apart his screenplay.
Oh, God.
Sounds
Jesus.
horrible.
It's very confrontational, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And then Polanski has quoted saying the screenwriter is trying to defend every single line of dialogue like it's written in marble. So he's pissed at the screenwriter for trying to stick with his art. And the screenwriter's getting pissed at Polanski for being a confrontational dick.
Right. And
Yeah.
it's not working between the two of them very well.
Yeah. But it worked out in the end, I guess.
Yeah.
It was funny. So you know how there's a lot of this deeper meaning crap where people like to impose meaning on things in movies all of the time.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Fincher was when I was in film school, they taught us about the duality and all these things in the movies. How they have he has one watch that's not broken, one watch that is broken. He has one glasses lens that is not broken, one that is broken. He has one tire that's popped, one tire that's not. Her eyes have no imperfection, and then one imperfection in that eye. There's a lot of things he listed off that are one is broken, one is not broken. And the screenwriter's yeah, that's not a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Happened.
Yeah, he's
I
that's
wasn't
not
thinking about it.
intentional. So whatever you're reading into, it doesn't exist. So good luck with that.
This is on the commentary, or,
Yes.
or this was? Oh, wow!
This
They're
is Fincher. He's
arguing.
this is what I learned to become a famous director. And what do you think of that? And the guy who wrote this movie is just nope, that's not in there. Don't worry about it.
Wait, and
Cool.
then so now, but that's exactly why that screenwriter's a pain in the ass too, though, right?
Maybe.
Polanski probably was having those moments, and the guy's yeah, that doesn't have anything to do with it. You shouldn't talk about it like that because it doesn't make sense. I don't know what you're talking about. That's not how I wrote it. And they're dude, but you're look at these things. It's perfect. Yeah, I wasn't intentional, so don't talk about it. Why are you talking about it? I could just picture.
At least he's not a liar. Sometimes you're well,
no,
actually at the time.
the honesty. Yeah, the honesty. I'd rather have the honesty.
Right.
Of course, but these directors, that's what they all do, right? They try to find all this meaning.
Yeah,
It was probably luck
definitely
more
luck.
times than not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The score was written 9 days. Oof. 9
Jeez,
days.
That is pretty impressive.
It's the same guy who did the score for Alien.
Wow.
So
That's
classic dude.
That's when you're just really, you're at the top of your game.
They had somebody else sign on and writing it, and they didn't like any of it. The guy was not fully done yet, but they didn't like it. So they're all right, we got no time. We got to find somebody else. You got 9 days.
And then the pressure just made it happen.
Yeah. They talked about how the brimmed hats kind of let you shoot from behind people and still get facial expressions. You see where it's tilting.
light.
You can see where they're looking. You don't need to see their
Right.
eyes to see what they're doing, which is
Huh.
kind of cool. I didn't think
Yeah,
about
that
it like
is.
that.
No, that is that's cool.
Yeah, the last shot, Fincher said, I'd have done another take of this. The last shot in this fucking movie.
You weren't on the movie,
I
dude.
know. He's yeah, you can tell that some of the extras, they're definitely extras. And you're God damn, that's not the point of this. You're not looking at them. You're looking at the guys
See,
walking
I always
away.
feel like that kind of shit just ruins movies.
Yeah.
He must not be able to watch a movie, period.
Probably not.
Because this whole time, I remember when I was, doing more sound, I was way more in tune with what was going on than I am
what
now.
has Fincher done since Gone Girl? Anyway, come on, Fincher.
He did,
Oh, he did House of Cards. Huh? I didn't realize that.
The Social Network should be in there. That's what should be in there.
that was good, yeah.
Zodiac was good too, actually.
World War Z 2, he's directing. Interesting.
Ah, well,
Oh, really?
It's got Adam Driver in it. Also, is that Brad Pitt? Is it a picture of Brad Pitt or Adam Driver? It's Adam Driver. The fuck?
that's Adam Driver. Adam
Yeah.
Driver.
Oh, Mindhunter was good.
But he's
I
not on
liked
the
Mindhunter.
cast list there. Just Brad Pitt. I'm confused.
Oh,
Anyway,
Anyway,
yeah. Let's see. Do I have anything else? I don't think I have anything else, guys.
yeah. It's. For a hell of a classic movie, it doesn't have too much on. I guess Fincher maybe ruined the.
Oh, do you want to
Commentary.
talk about real quick Polanski?
Do we have to?
We don't have to.
he did terrible things. Do we still watch the film? Yeah, we still watch the film.
Still watch the film.
He admitted to it.
He didn't admit to all of it. He admitted to having sex with a 13-year-old, but he did not admit to drugging her.
Yeah,
he didn't admit to it at the time, though, did he?
well,
No,
no,
he
but
did.
he also
He
tried
pretty much did.
tried
He
to
did.
say that and say it was
Interesting.
consensual. Right?
Which is not a thing.
Well,
Still
that's up in the
statutory
air too, because the girl is still around, still in the news. She wanted the court system to like throw out the case.
Oh,
Right.
and I guess in the I don't know.
After he settled with, after she had sued him and she won a civil suit,
Right.
and got a lot of money.
Right.
Oh, well, that was smart.
So now she wants to just let it go at this point. She's okay.
I mean, I can't imagine it. I don't know.
So yeah, I mean, imagine
it's,
this guy's life, Roman Polanski's life. He's like, up and coming director, married to Sharon Tate, who's like this beautiful
Gorgeous.
model.
Right.
And then and apparently like they got along really well, and he loved her a lot, like by all accounts. She gets randomly fucking murdered out of absolutely
That's
nowhere by a
insane.
bunch of psychopaths.
While pregnant.
Yeah. While 8.5 months pregnant. And then goes on to direct, well, maybe one of the best movies ever made, depending on who you are. Definitely deserves to be on this list, I think. And then goes and does a photo shoot with a 13-year-old girl, drugs her and rapes her, and then goes to trial. Is like, I think he went to like to get mentally screened for like 40 days.
So first but he did this like plea bargain, and then the judge told one of his friends that they were going to not honor the plea bargain and give him 50 years in prison.
And the day before, he was set to go to trial for that, right?
Yeah.
So he
Right.
fucking
So he-
skipped out to Europe
Yeah.
day before. And he's been skipped out to Europe
Skipped
for
out ever
40
since.
years.
And never been able to make another movie, right? Really?
No, he has. He won Best Director in 2003.
Oh,
the
wow.
pianist.
Oh, but that's still a long time. I mean, so he's not doing it like he would be doing it.
I don't know, dude.
If
He's
he
done a
was-
bunch.
No, he's been active.
Can he just not come back to the States or what?
States or any state that would extradite him to this country.
But like in another country though, if like you went, so he can't go shoot in some country then that like might arrest him.
right. He knows which
Right.
countries would arrest him and send him back. Like France is fine. Poland is fine. Like he actually, it sounds like
Wow.
he had, like there were trials over there and he got official word about how they would treat him before he actually visited him. Like Poland, his lawyers did some kind of thing like, would you exonerate or would you extradite me to the United States? And they're like, no, we won't. And he's like, all right, I'm going to come visit you guys.
Wow.
So yeah, he did like The Ninth Gate. That was 1999. That was like Johnny Depp. He did a lot.
Yeah.
Actually,
He's been very
I
active.
mean, ever since
The Ghost Rider
Yeah,
was
the-
pretty
the-
recent and not
The
a bad movie.
Pianist. Yeah, Carnage.
2010. So he was like 75 when he made that one.
Yeah, but he took like a 4-year break after a therapy, like a short movie. And then Venus and Fur, don't know any of these. Based on a True Story, 2017. Don't know that one.
No.
And JQ's French film in post-production. Don't know what that is.
It's a weird story. I'm surprised. Like it's crazy. You
Yeah.
can get away with that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. I guess.
That's enough. Cool.
Yeah,
Sounds
I've had
good to
enough
me.
of that one.
I mean, there's an interesting documentary, Roman Polanski, Wanted and Desired. I saw it a long time ago, and it was interesting. Just lays out that whole thing.
Oh, and also just to bring up what's coming out in the news now. This is like 2 days ago,
Yeah.
but it'll be 2 or 3 weeks to whoever's listening. Headline: Roman Polanski sues Academy over expulsion. He's suing the Academy Awards for kicking him out of the Academy.
Why
Yeah,
does he
that's
care?
what I
I mean,
just
I don't.
saw that.
What does he get by being in there?
Do you
I'm
get paid
confused.
if you're in the Academy? I was wondering the same thing.
I don't know.
Maybe
a
just like his
prestige
legacy
thing?
after he
Yeah.
dies.
It's a prestige thing.
Yeah. I don't know.
Hmm.
I mean,
I think they could kick him out just based on what he admitted to doing.
dude, I mean, that's kind of bad optics for the Academy. It's like they gave him Best Director in 2002 after all this shit was
Right.
already set in
That's fair.
stone. And now, like, the Weinstein stuff is like, oh, shit, people are mad now. All right, kick him out now. Yeah. He hasn't done anything new since we gave him an award for being the best director in the world. But now's the time. Otherwise, people will get mad at us.
Well, it's the fucking.
It's the way it
Academy.
goes.
They're all over the place, anyways.
Yeah. Respect lost. I used to like him. Thanks, List. Thanks, podcast. Another thing I hate now because of this.
Hey, you wanted this.
I wanted this. This is the worst decision
this
of my
is
life.
all your fault, Denny.
Oh, my God.
Oh wow.
But yes, thank you for listening. We actually love movies. God, I don't know what this
We
podcast
do.
become. I just think about how much it's changing my opinion on this form of media.
Yep.
I used to love and put importance in and how I like it sometimes and don't give it any credit whatsoever.
Oh, similarly to how Fincher's going overboard with the extras, now we're going overboard. We can't just watch the fucking movie anymore. You got to fucking dissect it and you got to think about it.
You have to reflect. Use it to reflect on your own life. and
Yeah, what does it
decisions.
all mean? You know?
And I think next week won't be a deep thinking movie, it sounds like.
Well, what is it?
We're going to watch The Great Escape
Okay.
from
Sounds old.
1963. It's in color.
Okay.
It's color.
Right?
Okay.
Directed by John
Plus.
Sturges. The synopsis is Allied prisoners of a war plan for several hundred of 100 of their number. What does that even mean? All right, tell me if this makes sense. Allied prisoners of war planned for several hundred of their number to escape from a German camp during World War II.
Yeah.
They
I get
were
it.
gonna get they were gonna get hundreds of them out of there.
Several hundred of their number?
Of their
Several hundred,
total
more
number.
than 100.
Oh, of their total
Like,
number.
I don't 2
I
to
think
300,
so, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
like
good.
what
It's
made
okay.
up their
Is that a common
Brigade.
turn of phrase?
Several hundred.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
no.
there was 100 of us, and
of their
15
number
of the
their
number of their number.
Yeah, of their number.
Have you heard that?
I don't know. I've never heard of. I've never.
It seems redundant. If
Yeah.
you're saying several hundred, then,
And they don't own the
you know,
number. There is a possessive term. They don't
Yeah,
own
I
that
don't know.
fucking number.
Whatever.
It's the fucking Nazis' number. They own them.
See, what were we saying about overanalyzing stuff and making it awful? I don't know.
There it is.
Steve McQueen starred in this one, and Sir Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough.
Nice.
Oh,
Alright.
gotta love him.
Yeah.
Here
John
we
Hammond
see
himself.
The
Jurassic
prisoner
Park.
escaping.
What?
Yep.
What were you
All right,
going to
well,
say?
I
A
mean,
full
that'll be
sentence
all
there,
right.
John? No.
What? No.
He
It's
fell
just I
asleep.
just imagining Attenborough narrating the film like it's one of his nature docs, you know.
Well, that's
And
David
here
Attenborough.
They have
isn't
decided
it?
that they're. Oh yeah, see, I'm just confused. The one Attenborough, I don't know. They're all the
The other
same.
guy was
Those
in Jurassic
Attenboroughs.
Park. Is he
Yeah,
old?
yeah. That's Richard
Yeah,
Attenborough.
I'm confused.
David
Totally
Attenborough is the
confused.
nature guy.
David
Yeah.
Attenborough was talking about dolphins and shit.
See, I have learned nothing. I have
No.
learned
Yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
I got nothing to say. You're probably
Yeah,
right.
I got
and that is
nothing to
sad.
All right, wrapping it up.
Timmy, you got any thoughts here?
No.
No. Okay. Yeah. Very middle of the line.
Timmy's tired.
Aw,
Yeah.
Poor Timmy. You all right, Timmy?
It feels more
Timmy's
Monday than most
aight.
Mondays today.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, I don't know when this one's coming out. We might have a special episode coming out.
All right.
Oh yeah, we
Yes.
got to coordinate on that.
We'll coordinate. We'll let you know. If not, we'll be watching this other one that we just talked about.
Something no one else cares
The
about.
Great Escape. We'll get Twitters from
There you
people
go,
being
John.
like, hey, why are you watching old movies? And I'm like, please wait.
Yeah.
We're going to go back.
You guys don't suck, but man, I don't really care what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's
yeah.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah. All right. Well,
that
yeah,
should be
if
our
you-
motto.
for the people who aren't like that and have gotten all the way here, thank you very much for listening. If you liked us, give us 5 stars on iTunes or whatever podcast app you use. We're on Facebook and Twitter, so you can find us there too. Concise.
All right.
Concise.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's
Done.
good.
Done. All right,
right.
guys. Talk to you guys
Good.
later.
Hey, see ya.
Oh,
Wow.
God. John, what did we just forget?
The one
The
job.
one
we
job.
have.
The one. Yeah. What is it?
I was like,
again?
we didn't forget Timmy. Good. We're good to go. We're
No.
good to go. But
No.
we
Yeah, well,
forgot.
as
For
long as
some
Timmy
reason-
signs off, we don't need
You know,
the
and
top.
I think like there's a backstory here, Denny, where you made some kind of deal with the devil. You know, like you sold your soul, and he's like, "Yeah, but I'm going to make you do one thing. You love movies, right? Well, I'm going to make you hate movies. No, you're not going to make me hate movies, devil." And now it's
And yeah,
making it happen.
yeah.
Silly
I'm gonna
me,
give you
I
this
didn't believe the
fucking
devil.
list. I'm going to give you this
What?
list, and it's going to be a top number.
I mean, I was even lucky the
Right.
devil told me his evil intent. Usually he doesn't tell you the evil intent.
Oh
He just
no,
does
no,
it.
he usually does.
No, he
does.
just
No, no.
fucking.
He
yeah,
tells
just-
you what's going to happen, and then he makes it happen, and that makes it all the worse.
Shit.
So, would you
Anyway,
Put it
all put it
in.
in the top 250?
John.
I probably would.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, that's a yes.
Was it because I talked you into it? If I went negative,
You
would you
did,
have
you
not?
did.
Would you have said no?
I probably would.
Oh, you fucking pushover. TC, what would you do?
Probably.
I said yes. I like.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would say no. All right, next
am
week. We're going to watch this
What?
other movie.
Fuck you,
No, I'm
Danny.
just kidding. It definitely is.
I know.
All right.
All right. Yeah. All right. We did the thing.
Okay,
now we're going to go away
can
for
we
real.
go to bed.
Yep.
All right.
See you
There
later.
it is.
Thank you.